Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com. Along with KISK, our Keep It Simple Circle marketing partners, we are here to help our Humongous AM and Humongous FM radio customers build their businesses and make the world a better place. At Building Fortunes Radio, we know how much your business means to you and the people important to you. So join us to make the world a better place. Spread the word, tell a friend, and go make a difference in your world. Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingils. Take it away, Peter.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingils here. You are listening to us on a Thursday evening on the Kell News Radio Show with Terry Kelliher. We've been doing this radio show for a year plus, and he's ready to launch the Public Access Media Network, and we've been talking about a lot of cool things all along the way relative to that, and we've been kind of documenting the way as this has progressed. And for those people that are relatively new to this, we put a lot of this stuff on, of course, Building Fortunes Radio. And on Building Fortunes Radio, we call this Kell News. But it goes over Amazon's music and Apple's podcasts and even on Spotify, iHeartRadio, lots of the other small ones, lots of the big ones as well. So if it looks like this is all over the place, it is. And I'm excited about this because I really believe that this project will help spread the word, be good open communication for a lot of different things that happen in lots of different communities, and I'm glad we're kind of part of the whole evolution of this. We've been part of the whole pregnancy, if you will, although this has been a 20-plus year pregnancy. This has been a long one. And it's finally, we got towards the last portion of it where we said, hey, I think we need to document what's going on so we'll be able to have a great legacy of some of the memories of the thought processes and maybe even use some of these things to write the book, if you will. But I also want the people to be able to hear Terry Kelliher sling some sentences together so you hear a little bit about his philosophy and what his vision is, and that's what we do here on Kell.news. So we're inching towards the finish line of the final launch. Some bits and pieces have been released so far for, let's say, testing stages, and we're, like I said, just a couple of inches away from having this whole thing done. So we usually say, well, let's do this on the radio show when we talk about what are we going to talk about on the radio show. So we're here, and Terry's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on. So happy after 4th of July, and I'm glad you made it. And let's talk about what's happening with Kell.news.
Well, thank you for the introduction, Peter. Things are coming together. This is going to come out in phases, as we've talked about before. And we're pretty much done with the first phase, which is this platform engages the user under a default to the local community, because that's where we saw that the need was, and also, as had been told to me many times, all politics is local. Well, so is all community, and the things that can be done with it are the most powerful at the local level. And with the implosion of the newspaper, I saw many years ago, and that's how this came about, that groups were the key to getting anything done at any scale. And I got lucky in that I persisted with this project and worked through a lot of the problems before getting to this point with some fits and starts over the years, but maintaining that this was a good idea because, everybody kept telling me it was, and I knew in my heart. And if you have a passion, you never want to let it go. And the passion got to be a little large, and I failed to realize some of the things that are important, which are to keep it simple, stupid. But I think I'm trying to and accomplishing that in the way that people will be able to connect through topic-driven local sites like local restaurant news and local police news, local obituary news, just like a newspaper, but I've given an infrastructure to it through the topic categories and the domains that I've acquired to achieve independence and identity for the user in giving them a platform that they can call their own as to where they can be found, and through a domain that it may be a wild card. I'm using a technical term. It may be a subdomain of one of mine, but it'll give it a topic-driven context, and that was the purpose in buying these domains to use for subs, as for our users to be found within their community under a certain topic heading. Everybody thinks they're going to make money at what they're doing, and the reality is you're just trying to show everyone that you have your credibility, and you have your audience within the community that you live. Most people are not out there pitching to the world. They're pitching to their community, whether it be an electrician or a painter or, and let me say this, in the day of AI, those trades are going to be very profound because they're things you can do with your hands, and they only can be done with your hands. We're coming out with the local piece of this, and above those will be the bulletins and the groups and the chat features and the service domains to the topic categories. Let me pick apart one that I've been working on today, and that's the interfaith media component, or the interfaith network. Interfaith News, we own all three of those domains, and they're the topic category drivers for a number of domains to service faith communities, like the Catholic Faith News, the Baptist Faith News, Christian Faith News, Muslim Faith News. They all reside in our communities, and they all have their churches and their synagogues and their temples and their mosques within our community. And, we hear about the dissension of anti-Semitism, and there's anti-Muslim, and there's anti-Catholic, and there's religion over the last 20 years has lost 40% of its constituency that walks in the door of a church or tithes to a church or does anything in communication with the community. And that's sad. And I myself, a friend of mine when I was lost in life, dragged me to her church and allowed it to become my community, and it has for the last 30 years. And it's a place for me to go and to find solace. I don't go as often as I used to, but, it's like AA. It's there when you need it, and it's very powerful with the tools that it gives you. I joined when I was introduced to a minister that I was very impressed with, and he has since passed, but he went through a life experience losing 2 sons to cystic fibrosis. And he was he and his wife were people of faith. He was already a minister and had been for all his adult life. He went to Antioch College and so on, and whatever. But is very powerful. March with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King actually came to our church one time. It's also, my church happens to be the church of Mark Twain. Mark Twain was a member of my church as well back in the 1800s. And he lived down the street. That's part of it, So everybody belonged to a church in those days. As a matter of fact, up until 1810, the state of Connecticut, the head of the Congregational Church was the governor. We were a theocracy, which many in our government right now would like to bring that back in a Christian way, and saying that we're a Christian nation. which we're not. We're a homogenous potpourri of culture, and that's what makes us up. I'm Irish. I don't know what you are, Pete, but I'm sure your ancestors came over here. Mine came over. My father's side came over in the 20s, 100 years ago, and actually my grandmother landed the day of the stock market crash in 1929. So that's a historical thing in my family, not good. But they survived and made a family, and here I am today. Anyway, that's part of the reason that these topic categories came about, was that I saw that community was made up of very many hubs. And when those hubs come together, or you can identify who's involved in the hubs, you may not be intimidated or afraid to join a hub you might thought of joining, but didn't know anybody involved. You didn't know how to contact somebody that's involved with it, like whether it be the garden club or a mental health group. We're going to try and give representation to them all. I've bought these domains because I felt, and this is part of my education, I shared space with an attorney for about 15 years in my career, and he drilled into me that the reality is nothing exists unless it's in writing. And I carried that forward into this project, thinking that if you don't own an identity within the internet that says what it is, then you're really trying to build something that doesn't have the credibility, and you have to build it on your own. Obviously, I'm going to have to do that on my own as well, but I'm saying what I'm doing, and that gives a level of confidence to the user that they're going to find what they're doing. And especially under the brand that we're in, that the public access media network, that gives us a position in the marketplace that everybody can identify with. I saw the hole that existed, the layer of connectivity in our community that was needed, and that's what this is. It's not so much social media as social infrastructure. That's another title I've been given. AI happened to throw that at me one day, and it fit. So anyway, that's where we're at, Pete, and I kind of went through everything, but maybe it's time for a commercial. What do you think?
Yep, we'll do that. We'll take a quickie commercial break, and we'll be right back.
You've been listening to a special broadcast of the Building Fortunes radio show on Building Fortunes Radio and the Humongous Radio Network. If you are interested in the world's best AI receptionist and AI business building platform, you will want to get your AI receptionist from humongous.com. Go to the specials page on humongous.com. That's YOUMONGUS.com/specials. Explore how small business owners and major corporations are using Humongous AI receptionists to do everything from answering incoming calls to scheduling appointments and even answering customer service questions. Your AI receptionist can do everything from making sure you never miss a call to texting reminders and follow-ups and even upgrading and closing more sales. Your AI receptionists will help you increase your productivity in just about everything. Building Fortunes Radio suggests you have to check them out on the specials page on humongous.com. That's YOUMONGUS.com/specials. You can make your world a better place and help others do the same with the AI receptionists at humongous.com. Now, back to our Building Fortunes radio show. Take it away, Peter.
And we're back. Peter Mingils here with Terry Kelliher. We're talking about the Public Access Media Network project and the progress he's making so far and some of the philosophies behind it. So, okay, what do you want to talk about next on your radio show? I know you have a few domain names for people to take a look at for them to kind of like get enrolled and start joining?
Yep. You can go to localtown.news, and that'll bring you to your community, and it'll push you in the direction of the Public Access Media Network, which is also, I believe, live as well. Although really your connection is going to be to either your town bulletin or your city bulletin news or the local town news. Or if you're just interested in your neighborhood, it's our neighborhood news. So it sounds like I'm pulling, trying to build different brands or something, but I saw it as that the community has to drive the mission itself. That if they want journalism has changed. It's not printed matter any longer. If it was, it is in some instances, but it's small, and it's not something that anyone really wants to pay for anymore because it doesn't give the value that it once did. And what I've done is build a new infrastructure where there's a business model that services the community and services local commerce the way that the newspaper did to drive its monetization. Part of it was a subscription model. Some of it was advertising. And then some of it was commerce related in the advertising and the specials, the coupons, the delivery systems of how a newspaper was delivered. There was paper boys and guys who ran around in their cars and threw the newspaper in the driveway. And, a lot of that got done more and more towards the end, and it may still be done that way. Then what they did was they piggybacked together, like the guy who was throwing the Wall Street Journal and Barron's was also throwing the Hartford Courant. So they were cutting costs by piling together in the delivery mechanism. So we need journalism. It's very important to our democracy and to our communities at large. Everybody wants to know what's going on in the local sports. It was a ritual to open up the paper every week, and we had a weekly in my town. When I was very young, we had a daily, we had a morning newspaper, and we had an afternoon newspaper. And when I was growing up, we had 3 channels on TV, ABC, NBC, and CBS. And there was a public broadcasting channel that came in a little later. And there were some stragglers as well, independents, but they tended to have a tie-in as well to the major affiliates. So journalism has changed. That was my point. And we're trying to meet it at a local level by giving it an infrastructure that will support it and give it legs so that it can come back to what it was and better for the local community, and give the community itself, because this is what our business model is. The library gives us its news. The senior center gives its news, and in return we give it a page and a presence within a platform that everybody can come together through the community calendar, news, and specific calendars for their topic heading, the local restaurant news, the local fundraiser news. These are all things that people want to know, and they need a steady, trusting source. And through the infrastructure and the resources that we're building, I'm hopeful that this works out to the point that I leave a legacy that fulfills my purpose here in life. So that's my
I know it will.
That's my story, and I'm keeping to it. We usually go to what example can we use where we can help people, and if that's something that came up in the news. Can you think of anything, Peter?
Yeah, I will definitely. Well, I always give you stuff that's going on in my world, because this way it just, I think it happens in everyone else's world as well. So I have a situation. So there's no positive ending here. So for those people listening in, this is like life, and sometimes you don't have real positive endings. I was working with a customer who's going to do some radio shows with us, and she's really good at what she does. And she's a mom and a grandma, and she's in her 80s, and she got some older sons. Well, they're in North Carolina, and her son is pretty well-to-do. He's 55, goes to Jackson, Wyoming. There's a cliff there where people jump off the cliff into the Snake River. And it's not like a cliff like, you think about Acapulco and people are jumping off like 3 million feet. It's like, I think it's like 30 feet. And he jumped in and never came out. So he jumped off the cliff and he jumped into the river, and something happened, and he has not been found yet. And I take a look at this and I'm like, there's a couple of things. Number one is one more thing to warn the the neighbors, people visiting, all that sort of stuff. Down here in Daytona Beach, we have a lot of rip currents, so there's always somebody that unfortunately dies, and it's usually a tourist. And there's some dangers out there in the real world, and especially in the summer where people are out there doing stuff. And he's a responsible person. There's no drinking involved. There wasn't any stupidity. It was just a freak.
Yeah, somebody from my area up here in Connecticut recently went in to save his son and got pulled in and died.
Yeah.
A tourist. And that resonated with me because this happened over the last month. Right. Someone in our community up here, and it's very sad, but it happens. And
right. I mean, so not to dwell on the negative aspect of it, although it is horrible that happened, but how can your public access media network make more people aware of, you can't eliminate, but you certainly could make more people aware of some of the dangers associated with this? Well,
that's probably a topic heading in a tourist way, because we own State Tourism News and some other tourism travel sites, and when we that would be very useful, and I don't know anybody who has it or where you would go, that if you went to Pensacola, listing what the hazards were, like alligators, this is what to do and not to do, and stay out of the lakes or any kind of pond, and make sure that the pool you're diving into hasn't got a visitor. We talked about this last week. Somebody got killed.
Yeah,
but
with an alligator. Yep.
Yeah, but that also goes with the ocean. How are the tides working? Where are these rip tides typically found? If you're going swimming, get a full education as to where you're going, where you are, and what has transpired in that area recently, so that you're aware. And that there's nothing worse than losing a relative or a child, and anything that you can do in a precautionary way and offer is a tool. And that's a reward unto itself, that you're able to guide somebody away from danger that saves their life. That to me is, that's worth more than money. And there's going to be a lot of instances in this platform that I'm hopeful I hear about in ways that it helps people or guides them in their life. That was the reason I did it. To begin with, obviously I wanted to make some money or make a living. I'm getting older now, so this really is now, I'm preparing this to be my legacy. I've probably got another 10 years worth of work life in me, if my health holds out. Intense work certainly over the next couple of years while we get this stabilized and I bring on staff and see it through its danger zone of getting to a profitable state. My intent is not to bring in any more investors. Try to build it through cash flow as much as possible and through the membership role and support of the communities that we serve. Because basically, if this doesn't work in your community, it's not my fault. It's going to be yours. And because I'm going to try my best to get it to everybody that's important in your community, to show them what we're doing and offer it to them at a reasonable rate and show them the benefits of it. Where we're successful, obviously, will help us grow, because if you see success somewhere else, you can easily build it on your own. We're starting with a couple of communities and then going to our full-blown district model, and we're hopeful to have that into September. And, away we are. This has been a long journey. And the best is yet to come, and the hardest work is yet to come as well. It wasn't easy getting here, but it's going to be even harder persuading people to get on board when there's nothing there right now. Well, there's minimal. I mean, obviously we used some resources that we pulled in, but it's not very robust. I'm going to have to convince the towns and the communities and the libraries and the senior centers and the faith community to get on board to build their journalism for their own community. This is not about me, it's about them and how they treat themselves as a community. And the Internet offers a lot of possibilities, but it's up to them to take advantage. They have it in certain ways already, like Nextdoor and Facebook, and but they serve niches that aren't really, they're pieces of a puzzle that we've been yearning to have. And I'm hoping that people see that this layer of infrastructure that I've built is that last layer to building the communities that we deserve.
Right. Well, to tie in some of the things that I'm working on, that you're working on, is we're doing some stuff with our friend Bob Holmes. The guy is the volleyball player, and we're lining up some stuff with his infrastructure, and he's visiting schools and churches all across the country. And those are the types of people that will be perfect to integrate into this. And when he does his little thing, he helps to raise some funds for the local schools and the local firemen, the local police department, and the local churches. So we got it all wrapped up and beat Bob.
So he can use our local fundraiser news when he gets into a community. He can promote it, and people can see that this is the intent. And if people are doing shows and they're giving a piece of their proceeds to a fundraiser in a way, it ought to be seen for what it is, as a gift to the community. And, that's what the local fundraiser news will do. And if they want to people want to pile on because he's giving, all the more power to the need, right?
Yep. And the message is about helping prevent cyberbullying, especially with teenagers, teenage suicide.
It's a big issue. Yep.
Drugs. I mean, these are big things that a lot of people rally around, but they just need a way to be able to coordinate the message to get the maximum leverage to get the word out, because a lot of people do this as a labor of love. You know, they don't do it as a profession, so they need as many things working on their behalf as they can possibly get. And that's why I'm so excited about what you're putting together, because through the collective effort, it can get done. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something this week that hit me, and it was the parents of a child who had died in that Texas flood last year.
Oh, man,
And they've gone out, and they're a very attractive young couple, probably in their mid-30s. Their child was about 6 or 7, I believe, and I have a feeling that their child was not found. And they have, in I think about 4 states right now, created legislation for the standards of the way camps for children are monitored and run, and that safety standards are upheld. And it's something that obviously, if they had known better, could have been prevented, possibly. Although the camp, from what I understand, had been there almost for 100 years, so it's not like
that incident.
Yeah, that was a fluke incident. But if the warning systems had been in place, that should have been, then it could have been prevented, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Knock on wood, I mean, hindsight is 20/20, and revenue being what it is, a lot of these camps run on a shoestring budget. It's a labor of love and history and and community that they get together and send their children to these camps every summer. I went to a camp as a kid for a couple weeks. I remember it very well. It was very positive for me. I think I was probably 8 or 9 at the time. I went with a friend of my father's son, and he's since passed. But it was a way for us to bond and have a relationship throughout our lives. The people that you meet along the way, those are the ones that you stay as part of your life remembrance, and they're going to be the ones who remember you. So make your stay well intentioned. But anyway, we're on that couple, and they've turned a negative into a positive. And watching them, it's a daily struggle for them to get through, because they've lost this child that they held so dear. And this is what gives them hope, that a passion for helping others and using it making it into a positive, so that their life, the life that they gave their daughter, had meaning and had purpose. And I'm hoping that this platform gives others that capability, and that's its intent and purpose. I'm going to try and keep it alive. That's going to be my mission. And it's going to be a lot of work. So, this is not obviously it wasn't quick, and I don't suspect that it's going to ever end until I'm gone, or I'm going to, in the course of its development, because we're an ever-changing society, and what's important today may not be, and what is tomorrow will be. So we hope we can grow and develop along that line, changing as we build the process of building better communities through public access network, or media network.
Well, that's the goal. So make it happen.
Yep.
So it's all starting for those people. The reason why we're documenting this is so for those people that are listening in.
Yep. So everybody should go everybody should go to localtown.news, sign up. If you see a let us know, please let us know. And we'll see you on the other side.
Absolutely. So we're going to catch everybody next time on Building Fortunes Radio. This is Kell.news. If you go to Kell.news, you'll be able to hear this as well as the previous ones, or you'll see them also on Building Fortunes Radio, and you'll see some of them on Spotify and Amazon's music and everything else. And we'll see everybody next week.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Building Fortunes Radio is part of the Humongous AM and Humongous FM radio network. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website to listen to your favorite shows. You can also hear us on Humongous Radio and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for.